Tava mutado, foi mal. Acho que agora tá de boa o áudio. Deixa eu compartilhar a live aqui e a gente já começa. Só um segundo. Ok. Tá, beleza. Vamos começar. Vou ver se pra pegar o livro.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Aqui até o 20, nós vamos entrar. Ah, vai começar do começo. Pelo visto esse jogo não tem menu, né? Porque ele começou assim.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Isso que da hora, os textos ficam, tipo, no cenário.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Ah, pera aí, deixa eu abrir o chat. Acabei lembrando. Derry, lindo, fofo. Opa, mano. Valeu, eu acho. Valeu pela presença
I
aí.
hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Meu Deus. Nossa, a câmera tá meio lenta, dá agonia isso.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Mano, essa ideia de colocar o texto assim, tipo, meio que no cenário, foi muito boa essa ideia, velho. Ficou muito, sei lá, dinâmico. O gráfico do jogo é bom.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Tá ficando meio estranho isso aí. Não corre, não?
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Pelo visto essa é a antiga casa dela. Ela tá
As a
voltando pra
child,
casa.
the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Dá pra entrar aqui? Não, provavelmente pela porta, né? sons assim, mano. Tá louco.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Você é louco, meio estranho, dá um medinho, mano. Atrás da casa. Vamos ver lá na garagem. Não, não é. Que isso? Onde tá vindo esse som?
Crawling through the doggy door
Nossa.
used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Bate o medinho, mano.
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Nossa, mas os caras foram embora e deixou
But
a
instead
casa
of a family, there were just
Não
memories
tava.
of one.
Os pratos, vinho, os talheres, panela, tudo deixou aqui. Isso é minha mãe,
Like how
velho.
after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except
Ela
our
leva a
cat,
casa junto.
Molly.
Nossa, esse barulho, mano. Que isso,
Nothing in the
velho.
house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Então há a possibilidade do irmão Milton estar vivo.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
É um jogo de mistérios, então. Porque tem... Mano, isso aqui é uma tranca? Que isso? Ai, mano, que medo.
Great Grandpa
Porra.
Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the
Ah, mano,
house.
isso é muito macabro, velho. Sei lá.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Que da hora. Deve ser ela aqui. Ai, esse botão azul.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Os caras deixou tudo bagunçado e foda-se. Vamos embora e é isso. Panela pra quê, né? A gente compra mais, né? Óbvio. Deixa esse panela aí pros fantasmas brincar. Mano, os caras deixou violino aqui, velho, na casa. Quem deixa violino dentro de casa, mano? Abandonada? Deve ser cara pra
After Milton
cacete, mano.
disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Buracos. Tá, então a gente tem que procurar buracos. Esses buracos?
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother,
Pensa se
Calvin.
alguém olha de volta aí, coloca o zoião aí dentro desse negócio. Nossa, o cagaço, velho. Calvin. Não sei quem é Calvin.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Nossa, mano, é... sei lá. Dá uma sensação de, tipo, desconforto. Olha esses bagulho, mano. Vê se não dá medo isso aqui.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Cara, todo mundo morreu então, só tem ela viva. Ai, caralho.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
E por que não lacrou?
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
O cara deu a chave de um livro, mano.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Oh!
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Oh! Gênio. Então essa é a
Reading
passagem
this,
secreta.
maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
From the paintings on the wall, it was
agora.
clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Meu irmão, né?
But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Já pensou se tem alguém sentado aí nessa poltrona, velho? Nossa, que
Just like I
cagaço.
had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ai, credo, velho. Ela comeu a cenoura do... Como é que é o nome? Ai, caralho. Ela comeu a cenoura do hamster, velho. Que fofo. Mas continua macabro.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Pô, que pena. Aí você vai lá e come
Mom, can I come out
a
now?
comida do hamster.
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Abre a porta, velho. Ah, passagem secreta. Ai, não dá pra abrir. que tá aberto aqui? Ih, é o banheiro.
I kept eating and eating.
Ah, ela comeu pasta, quem nunca, né? Quem nunca, né? Não vou te julgar, menina, já fiz isso.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Credo, que monte de véia, menina. Sem querer julgar, óbvio. Come o restinho ali. Tá, e agora?
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Gorjeio.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was
Oxi,
a
caralho.
cat.
Então tá, né? Faz muito sentido. É claro. Virei um gato. Como é que pula, velho? Ah.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Que legal, mano. Tá, pra descer aqui. Ou é pra subir? Ai, meu Deus. Nossa, esse rosnado do gato, mano, é muito bom, mano. Será que ele pula até ali? Eu acho que não, mano. Aqui pula.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Oxi, velho. Parece, sei lá, velho. Boneco do Toy Story. Mano. Isso não parece uma pessoa, velho. Não parece. Ih, parça, como é que você quer que eu vá aí, mano? Nossa, nada a ver, fiquei indignado, mano. Olha esses malucos, mano. Será que se eu pular ali eu morro? Será que é pra voltar? Não dá pra me pular ali, mano. Ah, aqui. Vai morrer o gato burro.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Ih, gato ficou puto. Venha.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up,
Ai, morreu.
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind.
Tá bom.
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the
Então tá.
grass.
Mordiscando a grama. Agora eu sou uma coruja. Nossa, que da hora, velho. Ah, é pra caçar o coelho. Peguei. Ah, tadinho do coelho, velho.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Que? Outro coelho?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Beleza. Tá bom. Mano, as ideias desse jogo. Olha o tubarão caindo, mano.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Nadar infinitamente agora. Tubarão. Ué, mano.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Então tá. Ai, morreu.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Ih, tadinha. Ai. Cadê? Perdi de vista. Ali.
was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Ah, virou uma cobra agora. É... Ai, meu Deus, velho. Não, não é pra lá.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Morreu, parça, morreu. Já era. Cadê? Eu tô perdido. Mas já? Matou o cara, cadê?
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Ai, faz barulho, velho. Morreu, parça. Cadê o cara, mano? Já engoliu? Nossa, ela tá gigante, velho.
Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Ai, pera.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Ai, que nojo. Nossa, saiu da privada, velho. Nossa. Credo, mano.
I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Que brisa, hein, mano?
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
O gato ali.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories.
Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, She was the one who named it Molly.
Não, cara, abre.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
It was a pretty big trace.
Então essa chave abre só os livros. O livro na verdade não era
There's a
livro,
secret
né?
in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Nossa, velho. Mano, que casa de louco.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Nossa, que da hora, mano.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Nossa, que dedão, parça.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't.
Ah, cada analógico uma
I think
lanterna,
Calvin
entendi.
always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
Pô, é mó
But
legal
that day,
balançar assim,
he
mano.
finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't
Vai
said that,
morrer, moleque.
Calvin! I'm not
Mas eu
gonna
nem
tell
ligo.
you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
Ai, morreu.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Nossa, velho. Adrenalina. Meu Deus, quase que eu dou um mortal. Ai, deu mortal. Morreu.
The day he made up his mind to fly,
Sabia disso.
and he did.
Vou pra morte. Gostei, legal.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Tá, então, pelo visto a gente vai ter que ver a história de cada um
After the
nesse
funeral,
livro.
Edie
Tá
roped
nessa
off
casa.
Calvin's half of the room.
Pelo visto todo mundo morreu, mano. Mas como? Eu acho que provavelmente ele morreu daquele jeito. Caraca, mais adrenalina pura, fi, vai. Mano, olha esses negócios, velho. Tanto de passagem secreta que tem aí.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Ela fez um filme?
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Odin, o nome do cara, mano. Isso aí é louco. Já viu aqui? Calvin, né? Já vi. Tem um jeito de abrir aqui. Passei aqui.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Ô, louco. Como é que abre isso aqui, mano? Mano, e esse fogão fazendo barulho?
Only one restaurant would deliver to our house. We had Chinese a lot.
Já viu aqui? Tem uma porta abrindo, tem uma porta abrindo, tem uma porta abrindo. Não, já vi aqui já. Mano, eu juro que eu vi uma porta abrindo, velho. Ai, que agonia, mano. Ela anda devagar demais. Aqui não tem abertura. não abre, mano. Ai, o que eu fiz? Não tem objetivo? Qual objetivo? Eu não tô achando nada, velho. De novo. Tem alguma coisa aqui. A gente já viu aqui. Deve ter alguma chave, sei lá. Não tem. Tô perdido. Soltando de livro, mano. Esse é o quarto da Molly. Aqui tem alguma entrada secreta pra algum dos quartos. Mas aonde? Será que tipo, tem alguma coisa que dá alguma dica? Esse é o quarto do Calvin. Gregory. Vamos ver.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Tá. Não ajudou. A gente tem que descobrir como é que passa aqui. Ou achar alguma entrada secreta. Ah. Aqui, velho.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Mano, olha isso. Quem deixa no quarto um pôster, sei lá, pôster, não sei o que é isso. De um monstro, velho.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Nossa, um bolo podre. Deve estar podre, né?
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it the surprise ending of Barbara Finch.
Tá bom.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed.
Oséias, salve, salve,
Her
mano.
scream
Valeu pela
hadn't
presença.
aged well.
Getting better.
Tá jogando Apex ainda,
I
mano?
think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
Tô
You're
sim,
right!
mano. Tá ganhando
Also,
muito?
I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door
Ou
locked?
pelo menos ganhando,
Because my
porque eu não
dad
tô.
likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Nossa, que da hora, velho. Tipo, como se fosse nos quadrinhos mesmo.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Ih, parça. Deu ruim. Ih, caralho.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill,
Mano,
who
que da
impaled
hora.
and ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Toma, 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 toma. Chega mais, otário.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Venha, venha, venha.
Oh dear!
Toma.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out. But she
Tá
kept
tentando
a little
melhorar.
something to remember him by.
Ah, mano. O
Barb,
jogo tá muito ruim,
have
velho.
you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep.
Os caras
watching the
instalou
late
skill-based
picture
matchmaking
show.
e só tá
Hours
caindo nego
later,
predador com você,
Barbara!
comigo.
Walter,
cara try hard,
what's
velho.
going on up there?
Tá muito chato jogar assim.
Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Lá vamos nós novamente. Quebra o vaso. Peguei, mas não é na ranqueada não, até no casual. Cai nego predador. Por isso que é chato, tipo, às vezes você quer jogar solo e cai em squad fechado, sei lá, com. Ih, caralho. Squad fechado com um maluco com 20 mil kills, 30 mil kills. Não é sempre, mas a maioria das vezes tá acontecendo isso. E cai cara de level 50, 20 com você e... A maioria das vezes você tá sozinho.
Vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
Toma, otário.
He couldn't get enough of Bob.
Ai, caralho, pra onde eu vou?
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another
Janela,
way out
janela,
of here.
janela, janela.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Ai, pra onde eu vou, mano? Não, olhei uma certa.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow.
Ei, parça.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Ele fugiu. Sabia.
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Ai, caralho, que susto.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Nossa, velho.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Credo, mano.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Uau, que assustador. Legal, legal, gostei.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ah, peraí. Ah, daí é foda, né, mano? É. Triste. Tô evitando jogar PEX porque eu jogo uma partida e já fico puto já.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Tá, então a gente tem que ir lá naquela caixa de música. gira, gira. Aí. Tá, ainda bem que tá, tipo, iluminado.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Tetânico. Tem madeira. Um dragão de madeira, eu acho, sei lá.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
A
I
geladeira.
thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember
Nossa,
asking
velho.
Mom once about where Walter
Virou
had gone.
Outlast de novo nessa merda.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was,
Aí
it
ele
was
tá
gone.
velhão, eu acho.
Maybe it got
Ele
tired
tá
of
com,
waiting.
sei lá, manchinha.
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara,
Ah, então a Bárbara, tipo, morreu
Molly,
mesmo. Molly. Então, não, tipo,
and
não era
Calvin.
visão. Eles morreram de verdade, velho.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Meu, ele se matou, véi. Puta merda.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Carai, velho, pesado esse aí. Ele se matou, viado. Cortador dele. Pô, que merda, hein?
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Tô perdido pra caralho, velho.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Mano, tá igualzinho Outlast, velho. Ainda bem que não tem nego pra me perseguir.
When you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Aqui, não. Ali.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Gerbs eu acho que é aquele...
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Barbara Finch. Walter Finch. Olha ele ali. Ed Finch. Sven Finch. Calvin Finch. Molly Finch. Morreu geral.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Quem é esse cara?
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Ah, eles tinham outra casa. Pelo visto, acho que é isso.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Sanjay Kumar. Lewis Finch. Newton.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Triste, né, mano?
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday
sozinho não, velho.
and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Parkour. Sobe aqui não. Tem uma escada aqui, velho. Qual o sentido?
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Mapa do mapa?
Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Let's see.
Ah, tô tirando foto, velho. Só não sei do que.
Maybe.
No.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you need to be strong. Keep yourself squared up.
Ai.
Great shot, Dawn!
No.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Vai logo.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Morreu, velho. Aí.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Morreu. Mas aí foi burrão, né? Não dá pra olhar, não.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh
when he thought he was alone. Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
Vai.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk
É
right
pra
now.
tirar isso aqui?
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. Reminded me so much of Calvin's. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw.
Acho que vai salvar a baleia.
It sure made him happy.
O bagulho vai ser louco.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. I could feel her slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory.
Que isso, velho? Eu sou o
Not
sapo
everything.
agora. Ah, é.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Gregory. Tá, falta Lewis, Milton, Gus, Don, Sanjay, Sven, Ed, Odin. Tá.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Eita. Aonde agora?
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
sei onde é. Acho que ela era lá mesmo. Aqui, ó.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Gostoso, manda nudes. Não, depois.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Ô, Gabriel, peça The
But it
Witcher
didn't
pra mim
last.
fazer live. Obrigado.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th
Ai,
birthday,
minhas costas.
when Edie gave him a castle.
Mano, o cara ganhou um castelo, velho.
After
é isso.
Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Nossa, que da hora, velho. Olha o quarto do maluco.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Não, pera. Ah, tá, entendi. Nossa, velho, que da hora. Foi assim que ele desapareceu.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Entrei aqui. Ah, entrei.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Pera, eu tô apertando o botão errado, velho. Ih, ó o Narguines.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Então ele fuma narguines. Quem fuma narguines mama o Satanás. Caraca, o quarto dele é muito louco, mano.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
Ih, caralho,
Newly
maluco
sober,
era
I believe
doidão.
Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
É o peixe. Ai. Ah,
He
joga.
kept working at the cannery,
É o peixe. Corta,
but
joga.
he withdrew part of himself.
Pega o peixe. Corta,
In our
joga.
sessions, I saw the same
É o
behavior.
peixe. Corta, joga.
His mind began to...
A gente começou a...
wander.
Ah, bom. Oh. Ai, cortou. Oh. Oh. Não, não, não. Passa mais peixe. Estão muito lentos.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
Nossa, eu tô fazendo duas coisas ao mesmo tempo.
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Nossa, mano, que foda, velho.
I worried about him then, daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Ai, chega de peixe.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Foi, velho.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
Ai, não. Ah, já foi. Eu não li a outra no som.
The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her Silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ah, eu sou livres ainda. Já deu de cortar salmão, né, velho?
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oxi.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Opa.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oxi. Vai morrer, bicho.
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Bom, falta... Falta 3, é. E mais alguns. Eu não sei que desenhos são esses no caderno. Bom, gente, eu vou ficar por aqui. Obrigado a todo mundo aí que acompanhou. E é isso. Talvez eu traga outra live desse jogo aqui. Eu gostei, mas meio suspense. Eu quero saber o final, como é que vai acabar esse jogo. E é isso. Obrigado aí a todo mundo que assistiu. E até a próxima.